Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Borkno game video. Today's video is dedicated to clan battle template teams and overall strategy for clan battle. Note that this is going to be a little bit in depth, so feel free to take a look at the documentation that I'll provide. And lastly, we'll announce the giveaways for 12,500. So first of all, let's go ahead and look at my clan battle team. So CB1 is pretty much June, Makoto, Kokoro. This is going to be a really good template team for most people. And then the last two slots are just going to be DPS or a support. And pretty much CB2, it's going to be Miyako and Kaori. And then of course you have to have a Mitsuki. This is going to be a pretty good template team for CB2. And then CB3, a good template team is just to have like Nozomi and then probably a Tamaki. And then in the back probably, or borrow a Makoto. I'm probably going to borrow Makoto here. And then I'll probably borrow a DPS for here. So these are some teams that you can copy. Let's go ahead and talk about why I'm covering these teams. So here is pretty much credits to the CN folks who provided this. This is going to be showcasing all the different bosses that appeared for the first clan battle. And note here that there are a couple of different teams. There are teams with Saren and there are teams without Saren. Pretty much list the possible tanks that you can use. Note that Pecorine isn't here, but you can possibly use Pecorine. I'm pretty sure it's not a big deal. The only reason you don't use Pecorine is probably because these are a little bit better. Imo Kuka probably won't be best in this clan battle unless we face like a magical one. I think this one is magical, so you might need Kuka in this boss in particular, this sheep. And then note here that these are the physical DPS and all the magic units are not going to be good because I don't believe most of the opponents that we'll be facing will be magically weak. It'll tell you whether the boss is weak to like magical or physical, so you will know. And then here are the supports that are recommended to be used, which is pretty much Kokoro, Maho, Mitsuki, Shizuru, good for the barrier, Monica, for overall like buffs. Note that speed buff isn't going to be good. Kokoro's speed buff is going to be a little bit better. And then Yukari and Saren. I don't think a lot of us have Saren, but if you have her, really cool. Jita is going to be the premier like physical DPS, as you guys know. And then Mimi is going to be a good secondary DPS if you have it. Eriko, I'm not sure if you can use her too well. I'll experiment with her and pretty much try her out during like the trial modes. And note here, there's going to be extra notes like no use of magic teams, use Kokoro with either Shizuru or with Kaori, who's really OP. Monica's speed buff only lasts 20 seconds. That's why you pretty much try not to use her if possible. Then you have like June and Makoto pairing together, or Makoto plus pretty much Mitsuki. And then the boss flower, you're going to need to use June, and then Saren plus Makoto for the dragon. Let's cover the little details regarding the team guides, right? Credits to Lace for pretty much breaking down this information over here. Make sure to check out his guide because it was pretty good as well. I'll leave links down in the description. But these are going to be some team templates that you can pretty much use that we can break down even further, right? So these are going to be the tank slots. Note that if you're going to be using someone like Kaori, like right here, which is, displayed over here as well, this is going to be the team that you would sort of use, right? Where it'd be tank, physical DPS. And the reason why you want the physical DPS in the back, it doesn't really matter because some bosses will be able to hit the back line. It's just all about like your tanks being able to take the front line damage. Nepturian, he was a little weird because sometimes he only targets the second slot. You're gonna have to play with these bosses because these bosses act very different from other normal bosses, if that makes any sense. They will target whoever they want. So at the end of the day, all that matters is the tank is at least there to do like taunts or to be able to pretty much tank some hits, because these bosses, you're gonna have to watch out for their weird quirks. The reason why I wanted to place the teams like this is just so you can get an overall visual of like, hey, this is where the tanks should go. This is where, physical debuff teams would go, or this is like a generic team template without any units whatsoever. And this is what's recommended. All right, let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. I'm gonna be showing you guys the PDF right here, the clan battle guide, and this is going to be really in depth. All right, so a couple of things is obviously you're going to need 3 different teams and how to play. So pretty much there are several turns or phases to a boss. So one turn is defeating 5 bosses. All right, so note that we can do up to technically 10 turns for our clan battle, which is technically 2 phases. And like here, there's going to be 5 characters that you can pretty much use, 1 that you can borrow, which we talked about, hence why I have an open slot right here. And then you can either use auto mode or manual mode or 2x speed or 1x speed. And note that you'll only have 90 seconds in order to do the battle modes. Now the thing is trial battle is going to be really good to pretty much practice and get, you know, a feeling for the boss. Note that you shouldn't really, you know, do auto. We'll talk about it more later. And there's a couple of things. You can actually overkill the boss. Overtime is calculated with the damage and boss HP and time left, so you can pretty much get those extra seconds in order to fight other bosses. That's going to be really good because, you know, it'll allow you to actually deal proper damage. Or note here, phase 1 takes pretty much 3 turns, so this is going to be 3 rotations of the 5 bosses, because, you know, there's 5 bosses here, so you do 1 rotation, another rotation, and then another, and that would complete phase 1. And then for us, we're going to only have 2 phases apparently for our first clan battle. During the second phase, there's going to be, you know, 4 through 10. And note here that each phase, pretty much the bosses get harder and harder. Now there are more phases in the future, but let's only worry about like the first 2 phases. I'm pretty sure like the top clans are going to be able to get through the 10th turn, and then most like clans will only get up to like maybe like the, I would say 5th to 6th turn. Like it's really hard to get through these turns because there is going to be like a very great difficulty to these bosses, especially since it's going to be our first clan battle and people are sort of going to feel out, you know, strategies, right? Here are the overall strategies. It pretty much lists like a bunch of units. You know, 3 members will defeat boss A with a physical team. There's going to be like different people doing certain things. Now, the biggest thing that I wanted to cover is that you are going to need a UB time schedule. Here are some examples of like people timing their UBs where you can see, hopefully there we go, where 110 or 111, Makoto and Jita, there are different pretty much timestamps where they're casting certain skills and they're pretty much, you know, check, you know, Jita's sword draw. These are going to be the minor details that make, you know, tryhards will stand out from normal players, because if you can time your skills appropriately, you can deal like an extra, you know, 100k, 30k damage, which will make a huge difference with the overall clan battle outcome. So these are going to be things that I recommend learning. Animation canceling, we'll cover animation canceling later, but this is going to be quintessential to pretty much have a schedule for your UBs. And, you know, it shows like, look at this, like it's like, hey, you know, during 114 you use this character skill, etc, etc, and you have like a full breakdown. And no, clan coins always go to Makoto. All right, it's going to be really expensive. We've covered everything like as far as like the clan battle go. I don't want to cover it too in depth because there's a lot of stuff in here. Just note that we're only going to have 2 phases and there's going to be 10 rotations or 10 turns, right? Let's go ahead and cover the PvP brackets because some folks had questions about this. Note that pretty much the way this works is there can be up to 5,000 players or something like that in each bracket, right? And as soon as 5,000 players join, a new bracket opens up. Now note here that these notable players, these are going to be players who are pretty much like the top or the whales, whatever you want to, you know, call them. They're going to be like the top players who are pretty much dominating that area. If they aren't there, most likely, and it's like a level 20 random, it's going to be a hacker. So I just wanted to provide more details on this PvP bracket because some folks were pretty much having some questions. So I hope you enjoyed like the clan battle stuff. You know, if you have any questions as far as like recommended teams, we can definitely go over them. But for the most part, it should be pretty straightforward as long as you can get like, you know, the first team with like Makoto and a tank, and pretty much a tank and Kaori. Just stuff like this where it's pretty much you have at least 1 tank. The premier tanks are going to be Jun, Miyako, Nozomi. You can easily replace, you know, Jun with Pecorin. You can easily replace Nozomi with Kuka or something like that, right? Don't get too hell-bent on like these characters. Just note that this is sort of like the team layout that we're gonna have, okay? All right, I am so happy to be covering this, but Tomias, you did it. The folks at Discord, all the people who supported the good word to ban the hackers. It's finally happened. A hacker's account has been banned. This is just amazing news. Crunchyroll, you did it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Especially if Clan Battle is going to be appearing soon. Just seeing this, that the hackers are going to be pretty much taken out, that is good news for the overall future. Let's go ahead and cover the giveaway details for 12,500 subs. We're going to be covering PvP brackets as the first video, and skill orders matter for the second video as the giveaways. All right, so 12.5k, this is going to be the people who might be winning. Okay, let's exclude myself as always, Borkano Gaming, and then get the YouTube comments. How many are there going to be? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Very, very nice. Okay, cool. Who's going to be the winner for 12,500 PvP brackets? Who's it going to be? Bruno Kenji covered all the sides of the drama in this video, even the hackers' possible reasoning. Well done. Thank you so much, Bruno Kenji. Make sure to pretty much contact me over in Discord or however. We'll pretty much cover the details to get you that $25 giveaway. All right, let's go ahead and get this next video over on in here and collect who is going to be the next winner for Skill Orders Matter. Get the YouTube comments. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? 225 comments. Let's see. Who's it? Oh, Gracias 48 channel. I need Maho. Why my gacha always trash? All right, don't worry, bro. I got you, or gal. We are going to get you that $25 giveaway. For the folks who won, make sure to contact me. If you made it this far into this video, consider subscribing. Crunchyroll, good job. I applaud this behavior. This is what we like to see as a community. Let's keep making Princess Connect a fantastic game. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.